Yeah. Hey.
No. Never coming in whistling again, that's for sure.
How great was that, though?
I mean, the funniest thing.
Episode 439. How about, did you actually listen to the part where I listened to the whistling language?
No.
I included, Colin included the track of what I was watching so people could actually hear the whistling that was going
Oh my
on
gosh.
in the video.
Oh my gosh.
It's classic,
I love
man.
this. I can't wait to hear that. Oh my God, you crack me up.
That was a hoot and holler.
Yeah.
An accidental.
Besides, yeah, right? An accidental. I love stuff like that. But, besides being subjected to whistling, how are you?
Fine. I can't wait to hear about your camping adventure.
Oh my God, Suze. It was, first of all, Ren and I are the ultimate campers.
I'm sure.
We will go toe to toe, head to head, tent to tent.
What's his strength? Tent to tent.
Oh, right. Camping shoe to camping shoe. His strength is, oh my gosh. See, I would say we're both like pocket knives, where we have many functions. Because I was even thinking, there was one night where we were making a fire, and we were making the best fire and have the best technique for it. And I was thinking about how I would tell Susie about this and how I could imagine you being so what roles do you have? Who does what? Which is essentially exactly what you said right there. I'm I totally know what she's going to ask me. And then as I was imagining this conversation, I imagined me answering well, we both do everything together.
Wow.
And you being oh,
teamwork
for Pete's sake.
Makes the dream work over there.
Yes. It really is fun. We're both see the job to do and do it,
Yeah.
and how can we, what he's really good at? He's good at creating the setup and the layout.
That's
to
handy.
make a nice flow and to make it feel homey.
Yeah.
He's really good at setting up the chairs in this certain way and making it all, in a nice little circle.
Yes, logical.
Yes. Yeah, totally.
Were there other humans around?
Yeah, yes, but very far away.
Yeah.
And the best part was that the camp, we had such a beautiful campsite. We were up in Sequoia, and in Sequoia National Park, and we were on this site that just opened up to this huge meadow. So there wasn't anybody behind us or around us. There was another campsite that was probably about 50 or 100 feet away, maybe 50 feet away, something like that. And that was empty until the very last day when who pulls up but the fraternity.
No.
And it was it was laugh a minute because we're walking back from a hike or something like that, and we can hear them. And as we walk by, there's one guy who's oiling himself up.
Oh, Lord.
Who looks, I swear to God, like Zac Efron. And he's shirtless. And then his buddy is doing planks on a log.
Oh my God.
And Ren was oh my God, dude. In the first 5 minutes you got here, you did your workout, you started planking on logs. They're this is ridiculous.
Was it only men?
Yes.
Oh,
and it was all just you know what it seemed like? It seemed like a group of high school kids, because then there were a few other ones. It was really interesting to watch these young male dynamics unfold over 24 hours because I could hear little bits of their conversation, and I was man, and they want to say that the girls are the mean girls. These guys are worse. So what it seemed like is there was a group of maybe, I have no idea the background on who these people are. They could be brothers, they could be friends, something like that. All I know is a bunch of dudes that looked like they were in their late teens, early, probably late, maybe 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. They did not see me or even look or had anything. They were too busy planking and flexing all weekend. It was ridiculous.
Okay.
And so it looked like it almost looked like there was a cool group of guys, and then there were a few guys there who I just looked over and I couldn't even help it. I had to say, "Oh, Sarah, you're not in therapy mode anymore." I was "Ooh, that guy's suffering from clinical depression."
Oh my God!
Don't go around diagnosing people. He's it just, he had that look. I was just "Oh, he's sad. He needs to." But so it felt like these were a group of guys that maybe knew each other for a while, or there was groups of brothers or something. And they were the cool ones who discovered girls and like went to the gym and put a whole bunch of energy in that. And then other guys who like instead found like, I don't know, love in video games or something. And now the cool guys it's like they were peacocking around it's like the alphas around the betas. It was very weird.
I don't love it.
You do love it or don't?
No.
I don't at all.
I don't
It was
like
super
bro
weird.
culture at all.
It was bro culture, and I was like, ugh. And so luckily that night we ended up moving because that site we only had it for like 2 nights, so we had to move one site down. And when we moved down, we moved out of earshot. And they were so loud.
Yep.
And then they kept on going. They would do things like go for runs in the morning.
Oh,
I was like, ugh. And people are like, what's wrong with that? Usually I'm all for a run. This was different. This is like how people work out on the challenge.
Right.
Where it's like you work out for half an hour.
It's a performance.
It's a performance, and you spend the majority of the time talking about how you did it.
Yep.
And like putting on sunscreen. I was like,
And they call each other bro all the time.
it was so stupid.
Ugh.
And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but it's just a bunch of dudes. All of them had to have their own tent. Like,
Oh my God, for real?
yes.
That's so great.
Because, like, you know, if like they shared a tent, it'd probably be like gay or
Yeah,
something.
no homo, right.
No homo, right. I was just like, these. So thank goodness we moved down from them. And
Boys
that
are
was
so weird.
It was really weird, but it was, oh my gosh, every single thing about the trip was so much fun, from just like being in nature. Ren and I loved it, but I'll tell you, there was one member of our camping family that was not too happy.
What happened?
Bo is not a camper.
Why? She's a diva?
Oh my God. The whole time. So there's this dog that Bo is friends with at the dog park and who lives in our building, and her name is Gail. And we always imagine Bo and Gail, and they're like Bo's like a little old lady, and Bo and Gail are like having their conversation. And Bo, let me tell you. So I rescued Bo. When I rescued her, but really, she rescued me. The people who I got her from said that she had never lived inside, like that she was an outdoor dog, and that she was like a street dog before that. It was like now she has had a taste for the indoor
Good life,
and was like, oh, you think I'm going to go back to being homeless?
You have got to be kidding me.
So the whole time we were doing Bo's voice and how she would be talking to Gail. So we were like,
Gail.
As soon as we take her out of the car, Bo's like you could tell she's like not into the dirt. And we just imagined her saying, oh, Gail is going to get an earful about this. Oh, just wait till I tell Gail about this. Well, first of all, she's got some allergies. She's an older dog, and so she's got some allergies. And I think the dust and the dirt and everything was just kind of getting to her. So she was doing like a little bit of sneezing, coughing thing. So I gave her some Benadryl. But the real kicker was like, I mean, we've been inside for a long time, and she hasn't gotten the proper exercise that she needs. So she's a little slower than she used to be.
Yeah.
So we took her on a hike, and the hike we brought tons of water. Kept her in the shade. I did everything that you're supposed to do. We let her run around, and she tells us she will stop in the shade, and she's like, no, I'm not walking anymore.
Wow.
And so, oh yeah, for sure. It's really funny. She slows down and goes really slow in the shade, and then goes really fast through the sun part. And now we're going to get her some little boots to put on her little feet because we don't want them to get hot. But
oh my God.
Because she's a little, but if you were an old lady, you'd probably want some of those little comforts as well.
Sure.
But when we got back so we went on this nice long hike. It was so gorgeous. But it was one where we started walking, and then we didn't really know where we were going, and there was no service or phones or even a trail map or anything. So we're just like, oh, let's just take this trail. And the ranger gives us one of those general direction things where we go, oh, where's the trail? Are there any good hikes over here? He's like, oh yeah, just go out of campsite 23 and go down the road. Okay, that, no left, no right, no how long it's going to be, no, to turn around, no other information. You're just like, okay, I'll just walk that direction, I guess. And so we didn't know how far it was going to be, and we are on the trail and passed this other couple and asked them is there a lookout point, or how far is it up and how long is the hike? And the guy goes, oh yeah, no big deal. It's just 3 switchbacks, and then you have a little bit of a straight part, and then you're right there, this beautiful clearing. this motherfucker, I don't know what his idea of 3 is. This like the there and back and there and back, and that's one he's counted? Because we were like, are you kidding me? So yes, it was a little bit longer than expected, but Bo's been on like 4-mile runs before. She's fine. She's not like, it's not like we were taking her like, and it wasn't all in the sun, it was in the shade. And we made it to Lookout. It's beautiful, by the way. When we finally get back down the mountain, Bo is like, I have a video of it. She crashes and like is dead to the world.
Come on.
And then, dead. And then would just like refuse to drink any water. And because she really was like, she was like probably getting a little bit dehydrated up there. And even though I was giving it to her, she was getting to that point where like she wouldn't drink anything. And then she sometimes gets like that where she's like, no, I don't want to do this.
Wow.
So, and she would even do silly things like she wouldn't drink any of the water and from the bowl I was giving it to her in. And then I was like, let me just try switching it to the bowl that we used when we were hiking. So I switched it to the pink bowl and she drank out of it. And I was like,
Why?
for Pete's, I don't know.
She's fussy.
She's being fussy. And then she was like having like, some allergies. And I think it's probably from the dirt we kicked up on the trail. So she's making like this, and I gave her some Benadryl and she was fine. But the whole time I'm freaking out like oh my God,
Benadryl?
Did I just kill? Yeah, doggy Benadryl and people Benadryl are the same thing.
Get out.
Yeah, for real.
You give her like that pink pill.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So,
and then does she get all like sleepy?
a little bit, yeah.
Okay.
But also it's mostly, and this is like it's the same stuff, and I have a prescription for her, and then I also have like in a pinch, you give her the people one. But there was something that must have happened on that. I don't know if it was, and we gave her water all day. She went to the bathroom. So the thing I always check is, and what my cousin is a vet, and so she always told me if the dog can eat and drink water and go to the bathroom normal in a period of like 12 to 24 hours, then your dog is okay.
Ship
like
shape.
check the vital signs, ship shape. If there's no sign, like no weird behavior. She was acting totally fine, and she ate, her food fine. She drank water, but she was still making this like hawking noise, like something was caught in her throat. And so I ended up talking to the ranger, and we were even thinking like, man, if she keeps doing this, like we're going to have to go home. Like I'm really nervous. And so I got really nervous, and I was like freaking out, and Ren's so good at keeping me calm in these situations. He's like, let's have a plan. If she's still acting like this and, refuses to drink water or something before, the morning, then we'll find a phone. We'll call your, cousin, blah, blah, blah. And in the morning she wakes up, she drinks the water. She's totally fine, but she's still making all this hawking like noise. And I also notice on her back, on her coat, it's looking a little bit almost like there's like ripples or like waves to the hair. And I remember this from when I had Sigmund, that he would get hives, like would have an allergic reaction, get hives, and that's what that looked like. I'm like, oh, she has hives. So then this guy is walking by on this path, and we like say good morning. He's with his dog, and we're like, oh, how's your day? And he's like, oh, good, except my dog can't stop nipping at all these bees and flies. And then I turn around, and Bo's, of course, going, and nipping at things. She must have swallowed a bee.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Something like that. So the park ranger was like, oh, yeah, just give her, a Benadryl. Oh, this was before I gave her the Benadryl. Yes, that's right. So the park ranger was the one who was like, oh, yes, just give her a Benadryl. This happens all the time. My dog, and this dog was so cute. The dog's name was Pickles. She's like, my dog Pickles, like, always does this. And one time bit a bee and his whole face swelled up. So, just give her like 1, maybe 2, and she'll be just fine. And yeah, gave him the Benadryl, and like the wheezing and all the coughing stopped, and a little bit, there was a little bit left over. But as soon as we got home, oh my God, you've never seen a happier dog.
Wow.
She was so excited to be home, and like the videos are hilarious. Like you could see the smile on her face.
Come on.
And she was, yes, you wouldn't believe it if I didn't show you the video. But I could just imagine her being like talking to Gail of like, we live in LA, like right off of Lincoln, where there are a bunch of, like people living in tents, and there's a homeless population out here of individuals who are homeless, I will say. And I know you can just imagine Bo talking to Gail and be like, yeah, Gail, you know those tents out on Lincoln? We stayed in one of those. Yes, I understand we have a house here. I don't know what's going on either. I don't get it either. And then they expect me to drink water out of a bowl covered in dirt. Dirt. Yes, the stuff that they vacuum off the floor, fine in our bowls. Like
my takeaway is don't get a dog and don't go camping. These are my takeaways from this story. You made 2 mistakes.
It was so cute to just like see her out there like running. I mean, she did enjoy parts of it, and she did go into like remember what it was like to be a dog and would like chase squirrels. And there was one time where she like was watching the squirrel. I mean, she did not move for 20 minutes. And I was like, Bo, hello, turn around, hello, Bo. And she would totally unresponsive, just like dead locked on this squirrel. So it was nice for all of us to kind of get out there and get in touch with nature. And
how did your feature socks hold up?
Oh, man, let me tell you. I love it. Here's why one of my biggest like faves from this. One of the things I hate the most are sock tan lines.
Oh, yeah.
So I want comfy, good quality socks that like have the cushion and support that I need, and especially when hiking. So like I got the medium one, and then I have like a heavyweight, like a thick one, extra cushion. And it makes it so they're like little ankle socks so that I can wear my hiking boots with my ankle socks and not get the tan line from the socks up half my leg.
That's awesome. I didn't even think of that.
It's very specific, but you know.
They do have socks with like multiple cushion levels, so you can get ultralight or up to max cushioning, which is amazing.
That's the one I got.
Yeah. And they don't slip. They have a custom like fit, so they just stay where they're supposed to, so you don't get blisters or have bunching or all that jazz. And that's why it's great for sports, running, hiking, rock climbing, all that stuff. And it's family owned, which I love, and they have a lifetime guarantee. So these socks are really high quality and designed for performance. See why Features has quickly become the #1 running sock in America. For listeners of the Brain Candy podcast, you can receive $10 off your first pair of Features by going to features.com and using code BRAINCANDY. That's $10 off your first pair when you go to FEETURES.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY at checkout. Again, that's features.com and use code BRAINCANDY to get $10 off your first pair of Features.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Well, I'm glad you're home. What was the mosquito situation, by the way?
You know what? I usually get attacked like crazy.
Yeah,
oh, no,
me
it was
too.
bad. It was totally bad.
Oh.
And there's something about, I don't know, Ren and I had like an equal, usually whenever I go camping with anybody, nobody else gets bit, but I'm like covered in them.
Yeah.
So much so that there was a time when we were in, was it Rivals? No, X's 2 in the Dominican Republic, I think it was. I think that's where we were. And I had 62 mosquito bites, and we circled every single one with a blue pen. Because I was like, what else do we have to do? 62. I'll never forget that. I was like, I'm covered. And
That's
other people would have like 3. Not safe, right? So Ren happens to have the blood type that is the mosquitoes like the most. So that poor guy was getting attacked. And then I've got the second most kind. So it was a nice even distribution of you know. But we're good at the layering. We got like the citronella candles going. We got the fire. And then we love like little camping hacks like putting like sage and eucalyptus in the fire. And because that smell like helps keep the bugs away and keeps the flies away or all that stuff too.
Yeah.
And so, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
Dang.
And I was like, just go easy on the DEET. Because like, I need you to like be able to like have a child and...
I know. Isn't it a bummer that the
too.
things that work the best are always like, yikes.
Yeah, probably going to kill you.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, God.
Right.
But, oh my gosh, I'm trying to think. What are some other highlights from a trip? Okay, question for you, Suze. Mm-hmm. So, when we pull up there, one of the guys who was helping us, the owner of Pickles, the dog, was this park ranger. We didn't get his name. He was so helpful. Thank goodness for this guy. He had a Survivor bandana.
Oh.
Don't they only give those to people? A buff.
Uh-huh.
He had a Survivor buff. Don't they only give those people who were on Survivor?
Yeah.
I think he was on Survivor.
Yeah, what the heck was his name? You don't know?
I don't know. I'm going to look him up. And I told her the whole time, I was like, just ask him. And then I was like, I don't want to be that person who asks about the reality show thing because I don't want people to do that to me. But
Sarah.
then if he's, I know, Suze. But then I was like, if he's wearing the buff, then he probably does. And then my next thought was, well, I got to get him on the podcast. I got to have he's like the nicest ranger ever. And we got to talk about how those skills translated into being on Survivor. I want to know everything. I want to know how he did.
Oh my God.
I want to know who the heck he is. I have so many questions. Also, I have to thank him for like helping me keep my dog safe.
Isn't that funny? Well, there's so many of them now. I was behind one on a flight, someone from Survivor.
Really?
I didn't know personally, but people kept coming up to them saying, were you on Survivor? And I was like, oh my God, we're everywhere.
Oh my God, everywhere. It really is what Andy Warhol said.
Yeah.
In the future, everybody will be famous for 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Isn't that it?
Yes.
It's so true. Oh my God, that is crazy. Okay, let me think. Other amazing things from my camping trip that I actually wrote down a list. I was like, Zac Efron guy who was doing planks. Check.
Oh my God.
Nicest park ranger. Was he on Survivor? ? Check. This one is a funny one for you. I did say that I would like we are the ultimate campers together.
Yeah.
That is true. However, this was our first camping trip together, and all the camping stuff was like my stuff that I've had for, a really long time. And so I did all of like the packing of everything. And Ren was working the Friday that we left, and I was like, okay, I'll handle packing. I have all the camping stuff. I think I
you
had
were ready
all
to roll.
ready to roll. Mm-hmm. The only thing that it's like I managed to forget the things that were like the most important.
Like what?
Well, okay, so one situation.
What?
Not the most important. Oh no, Suze, we overpacked that,
Okay,
which was
good.
like
Thank
fine.
you.
Like for real, we brought like 6 bottles of wine for like 3 or 4 days. And
That's
then we
about
ended
right.
up only drinking 2. And we were like, we may have overpacked a little. Like, didn't take into account the 7,000-foot elevation and drinking at that altitude and what that would do. But so I ordered on Amazon this air mattress because I like, the things that I care about when camping. I want to sleep well, like good sleep. Decent enough bathroom, anything to do to make the bathroom situation a little bit better.
Yeah.
And I hate the dishes situation. Like I don't like washing dishes in cold water. So like anything we could do to get make that. So like a camping sink and all that kind of stuff. So at least for the bed, I want a blow-up mattress. So I go on Amazon and I'm like, I don't think I have a blow-up mattress. I don't know why I forgot this. Like I thought maybe I lent it out and didn't get it back or something. So I go in and I buy a blow-up mattress that's great. It has a pump in it, built in. So you don't even have to plug it in. It's got a little jet. I don't know how it works. Batteries, something, whatevs. And it's going to blow it up in the tent. Perfect. I buy that. It gets delivered in time and everything. I open it up, and as I'm opening it up, I turn around and look in my linen closet, and I'm like, wait a sec, I have a blow-up mattress. That's ridiculous. I'll leave this one, and I'll bring that one. But then I was like, oh, dang, I need to buy a pump for it. So I go out, and I buy a pump. My dumbass didn't think, and I was like, oh, it's okay if it's an electric, like a plug-in one, because I've got a plug in my car.
Yeah.
I thought none of this through. The pump that I bought was 120 volts. My car only goes up to 115.
Oh no!
So we go to plug in the thing to blow up the air mattress, and it goes, and nope, no go. So won't even turn on, won't do anything. I'm sitting there like, all right, I'm gonna have to drive down the hill to go to buy an air mattress. Like I was like, what the hell do we do?
This is where you draw the line with comfort.
Well, because I need them. I'm not sleeping. Is not going to be comfortable to sleep on that floor on nothing.
I mean, I agree with you, but that
no other option. Like I would, if it were a mattress pad, like one of those like camping pads, I'd be fine with that. We're talking hard ground.
Yeah.
This like challenge style.
This is your limit. Okay.
I was like, nope, I need to do this. Well, and not even for me, but also for Ren too.
Yeah.
I was like,
well, Bo,
here
really.
I am the one who and Bo really, right? Here I am the one who packed this, and the part that's kicking me was I was kicking myself over. I said, I have the frickin' mattress with the pump sitting in my
I can
office.
picture you because when this stuff happens, you go into this the BDE thing where
Yes.
you're like, nope, I'm going to handle it. I'll be back. I'm going 50 miles down the road to get a plug.
You know what's funny is I usually would be like that, but Ren kind of takes over in that, and he's like, okay, we got to make a plan for this. His is bigger than mine. So it totally,
Wow.
he takes over, and I'm just like, I'm in the, what do we need to, yes, let's
You're
problem
damsel
solve.
in distress all of a sudden.
Yes.
Okay.
Totally
Gotcha.
in that. It's real nice.
It's real nice. Story of my
we
life.
were like, okay. And because I and then I go to like you're right. I kind of go to like the extreme of like, yep, guess I'm driving down the hill. I'm going to do that. And he's like, whoa. Maybe there's like an in between. Let's try to think here. So what we decide to do is so he goes to the ranger station. And now these rangers, by the way, have seen so much of us.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're like, oh, here comes Red again. But it's great because he's so sweet and he knows all their names. And he's like, oh yeah, I just chatted with Tina.
Tina!
Yeah, that was her name. It was so funny. On the first night we roll up there, Ren's like, so, do we have like a bear box at our site? Like, where do we put that? And she was like, oh, there hasn't been a bear here in 2 years.
What?
And so, right? In Sequoia Park. And so the next day when we roll up, when we go and like go to collect firewood or to give her some money for, whatever the site was, she's like, so, run into any bears last night? We were like, oh, Tina.
Oh, that's classic Tina.
Classic Tina. And, yeah, it was real funny. And so he goes over there to ask him about, like, do you have a I don't know what he asks, a portable, blow up thing? Maybe they have a pump or something. What they do have is an outlet. And so we think, okay, we just have to get the mattress over to the outlet.
Oh my God.
We have to blow it up there. So we put the mattress deflated in my car with the trunk open. We take a tablecloth because we're like, the worst thing you could do is put the air mattress on the floor and it pops, like it hits like a stick or like something. So we have to like make sure that we're keeping it. That would be like the worst. You get it all blown up and then it pops, and now we definitely have to go back down the hill. So we decide to put it in the trunk, blow it up, and then just try to like shimmy it out of the trunk.
Oh my God.
And the problem is we can only blow it up about 2/3 of the way full before it got like stuck in there. So then we take the 2/3 of the full mattress back to the tent, and we sleep on the 2/3
How was
full
that?
mattress. Awful!
Right,
Exactly
Princess
how
and
you
the
think
Pea.
it is. It's almost worse.
Yeah.
And so the next morning we were like, we got to figure something out, So we just decide, we're just going to carry the mattress over there. We're going to carry it on top of our heads all the way down to the pump, blow it up 100% of the way, and then carry it all the way back. And that's what we did for the last 2 nights, and it was fine.
Wow.
So forgetting the mattress pump situation, a little bit of a not my best move, not my best work. The other thing I wasn't so proud of, it was like I forgot the other half to everything. I bring the mattress, but no pump. First night we're supposed to have chili and baked potatoes and cornbread. I bring like stuff that you definitely want butter for. I bring the bread, but no butter. So we do like, pull an audible and do like which then I had to ask Ren, like, okay, but like what's an audible? Because you need to like, that's a sports term, and like I may be cool and play fantasy football, but I am not down with all the terms. And he's like, oh, that means we just switched the plan at the last minute. I was like, okay, thank you.
Oh my God.
You could have said that. But so I was like, also, what do you mean by that? What is it the worst? What am I supposed to be doing in this situation? Driving down the hill to get butter? And so we ended up having hamburgers. But then I go to look for my hamburger stuff. I brought mustard, no ketchup.
Sarah.
I know. And then I go to make lunch the next day. Peanut butter, no jelly. It's like I'm doing it on purpose I was like, this is a joke. And I know I put all this stuff out on the counter. I come home and it's out sitting, the ketchup bottle sitting out on the counter. I'm like, I knew I put this out. So, but he was like, he doesn't care about any of that. It was like, whatever, who cares?
I bet
it's camping.
When you were out there, I bet you were like, I just wish that I could have my sunbasket meals instead.
This was our plan. We're going to bring those baskets that's already prepped and already done. It's the way to go. We talked about this on the way home.
I'm telling you.
It's genius.
Next time, try sunbasket, because you can have delicious meals full of organic, fresh produce delivered straight to your door. I always joke about how I get Botox, but I eat organic. And I'm telling you, it is a good balance for me because it's like, okay, I have donuts in my nightstand, but I have organic for dinner. And Sunbasket has delicious recipes. They have all kinds of dietary preferences, including paleo, gluten-free, Mediterranean, which Sarah loves, vegetarian, and more. They make it super easy and convenient. Everything's pre-portioned, ready to prep and cook. I just love that it's organic, fresh produce, clean ingredients in as little as 15 minutes because, let's face it, who has time? It gives you experience in the kitchen. They have such good recipes. I can't wait to try. They have a pork chop one that I'm craving, so I just requested that. And
with the cherry glaze, that's so good.
Yeah, and they have like hoisin strips, steak strip, lettuce cups with pickled daikon and carrots. They have kimchi. I'm just loving the variety.
And a lot of them come pre-prepped. That's what I loved about it, because you can pick the ones that are like 15-minute meals that are already prepped for you, and that is the best. You just take that bag out, boom, 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 done.
Right. I don't want to think about it. You can skip.
I will never
you
forget
want.
my peanut butter or jelly. All the ingredients are right in there.
It's simple and easy. No gotchas. Right now, Sunbasket is offering $35 off your order when you go right now to sunbasket.com/braincandy and enter promo code braincandy at checkout. That's sunbasket.com/braincandy and enter promo code braincandy at checkout for $35 off your order. Sunbasket.com/braincandy. Enter promo code braincandy.
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
Okay.
So it was amazing and wonderful. And we got to go on a fabulous hike called the Trail of 100 Giants.
Nice.
Which was, it's all these redwoods. I mean, I can't believe redwood forests. It makes you feel it's so humbling. Mm-hmm. And these things are so old.
Right.
And the best was this trail had, one of my favorite things are when they have the little plaques or like the little info boards that give the little fun facts about that. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, they were so cool. And let me try to think of some of my favorite ones. Oh, this one was great. Do you know Sequoia is the only word that uses all the vowels?
No.
I loved that one.
Wow.
And this one wasn't even on a plaque. This was just a girl who was a fact, like just like me, like super fact chick who was walking down the trail being like, and did you know? And did you know? And I was like,
no.
That's an amazing fact.
Was she talking to you, or
and
did you just overhear her?
I just overheard her.
Oh.
And I was like, I should have gone up and been like, I love your facts. Don't ever stop being you.
Don't ever change.
And I totally was like, don't ever change. And I totally told Red, I was like, this is great. I'm totally going to use that on the podcast. I'm like, I loved hearing that fact. And then it made me in my mind think, oh, okay, some people do like those people.
Wow. That is interesting about the vowels. I'm into that.
This one was crazy too. So these sequoias that grow hundreds of feet tall, like the largest circumference, and that, the distance around one of the bases of the trunks there, that's a single tree. A lot of them are two trees that have kind of merged into one, but the biggest one around is 70 feet around.
Wow.
And so we're talking 70 feet around. This thing goes straight up. But this is one of the things that I found that Ren and I were both like, what? The roots only go about 2 to 3 feet down.
Oh, no, that makes me worry.
Right? They all spread out really wide. Like the root system is more of like a shallow network that all connects.
It's about width. Yeah.
Yeah, and it doesn't go deep, which is just really surprising to me. I don't know why, and I
guess that makes sense because you know how sometimes you'll see one that's been uprooted in a storm?
Yes.
Yeah, and that is what it looks like.
Yeah. There were some recent ones that were it's really interesting because you see like they have one that fell over. I think they said something like it fell over like 800 years ago or something like that, hundreds of years ago. And then there was another one that fell over in 2011 that was caught on film, and I totally want to see it.
Yeah.
And I don't so, and you can see the difference in what the roots look like and what and what they think caused it, and like the ground decaying and things like that. And then just to think that it all starts from a pine cone that has it was like thousands of these little seeds inside, and each seed is only the size of a grain of oatmeal.
Did you learn that from that girl?
No, that one was on the sign. That was really good. And then I learned that the stuff, the bark that falls off of the tree, that's called duff.
Oh,
and the little squirrels and chipmunks love to roll around in that stuff because it cleans all of the ticks and fleas off of them.
Oh, wow.
And they call it a duff bath. And I was like, that's adorable.
Hey, tell me this. Why the heck is there not like a deer population in California, really? Like,
There is.
Is there in the forest there?
You know what? I didn't see any, but when we go to Cambria, there are so many deer. It's like...
Okay. Why aren't they around here?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe there aren't deer by your house?
No, I never saw one in California ever, and I see them all the time in
Pennsylvania. You've never seen a deer? Oh my gosh. Come to Cambria. You will see at least... Every time we go, it's like, how many deers we see? At least 5 every time.
Okay.
And there's always a family. It just depends on where you go.
Gotcha.
And in Yosemite, more people die from deers than from bears.
What the hell's happening? The car wrecks?
No. Oh, car wrecks too, but also people thinking like, oh, I can get close. It's like Bambi. Like the
And
deers
what
are
do the
really
deer
fucking
do?
dangerous.
They buck
They're
them?
really dangerous. Yeah. They do the thing with the hooves. What's that called? Not bucking them.
Right, I know what you mean, though, like the kangaroo with the boxing gloves.
Yeah, and they do that, and then the hoof coming at your chest, like, that'll kill you.
Right, I wouldn't want that to happen.
Yeah, we didn't see a single animal.
That thing with the hooves.
What do you even call that?
I'm laughing because I know exactly what you mean.
Yes, everybody knows what I mean. That thing with the hooves. Right. You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, when they get upset or like when they accidentally end up like in a house, you know how they do that
sometimes?
sometimes?
My God,
oh,
yes.
Boy.
Or like get stuck in a car.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen that when they're like, they actually do come through the windshield?
Mm-hmm. It's like
Wasn't that in Tommy Boy?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
Oh, God.
See that thing back there? It's not an air freshener. It's a dead, rotting deer carcass. That's what they say in the movie.
Oh, that's funny. I wonder if that movie holds up.
I guarantee you it doesn't, but it's so funny.
I guarantee it does. Pretty much nothing does.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But I'll still watch it. I'm just fine with it.
Yeah. But it's weird. I didn't see a single, now that you mention that, like, I don't think I saw any animals. We saw some chipmunks but nothing. It did feel very, like, I don't know. It wasn't
like a ghost town.
Yes, it kind of did. And it did have that feeling, which is weird
because everyone's saying nature's healing or whatever.
Right. Yeah. And
they're
it didn't
like at
feel
the saloons
too crowded.
now. Yeah.
Oh my God, right. Yeah, it didn't feel too crowded up there. But, Tina the ranger, one day, the first day we wanted to go to the Trail of 100 Giants, she had just come back and she was like, oh, don't go. There's a 10-minute line, or there's like a line to get in.
Into the trail?
Well, there's only one place that you can park. And to park, they charge $10 to park there. So it's kind of like a $10 fee to go on the trail. And like per car, but like worth it because of those. If it pays for more of those plaques with all the facts,
the fact
plaques. The fact. Oh my God! If those aren't what they're called, they totally need to rebrand. Fact plaque.
When they say Trail of 100 Giants, are they referring to the trees?
Yes, and there are far more than 100 for sure. And they're definitely giants. Oh my gosh, they're so cool. There's even some of the cool ones that we saw. There's one tree that has, or a lot of the trees actually, they get struck by lightning because they're so tall.
Right.
And when lightning strikes, it strikes from the ground, so it creates this scar on the ground. And oftentimes the tree will heal itself and kind of wrap around it. So some of them have holes where you can climb inside, and it's like a hollow in the middle. Mm-hmm. And there was one called the Goose Den, and they said on the fact plaque that farmers used to store livestock inside these trees.
Oh, heavens.
Right? And then at first we were reading the plaque and we're like, that doesn't even look like you can't go in there. And I was like, I'm going in. And so I climb through the hole and I get inside the tree and I go, oh my God, it's huge in here. This thing, it's enormous. You can fit. And then I climb out and I go, Ren, you got to go in there. He's like, what? That's not even that big. He goes, oh my gosh, you could fit a horse in here. And
you went inside a tree.
Yes.
Is there a door, did you say? A hole?
No, just a hole. And then the funny part is like Ren and I are like, we're like adventure kids. And then there was this group, these parents with their like 2 kids, and they roll their eyes and they're like, oh, for Pete's sake, now they're going to have to go in.
Yeah, right. Weren't you afraid of bees in there?
No.
Oh my God, you're so brave.
It was like a playground for like nature-y people, and it was like we were climbing on everything, and we would go on hikes, and we'd just be like, "Hey, let's go exploring. We're gonna go exploring." That's what we like called it. We would be like climbing up and down the trees and going in and out of like the trunks, and it was so much fun. And climbing all over the ones that fell down. And Ren's so fun. He'll like walk ahead and he'll set the camera up all cool, and then we'll like hike over the camera so we got the cool shot. And yeah, it was like so much fun.
You guys are soulmates.
Oh, it's so gross.
Did you sing Harmony with the ukulele?
Oh, I should have. I only got it out for 1 second, but then the ranger came by and he was like, oh, that spot's available, so we had to move. And I was like, did they stop my concert? Because he was like, no. You're fine, honey. I was like, oh,
my God.
I just started playing.
Disturbing the peace.
It was fine. Yeah. But the nature, I had no idea how healing that was going to be. And how necessary that was.
Well, when we got home in trauma right now. I just know this as a human population, particularly in the U.S. Everyone's in trauma, and everyone deals differently, but you need some salve for that. So nature, it might be the answer or whatever.
Yeah. We got home, and Ren's on the phone with his friend, and I overhear him, and like his friend was like asking how it was, and Ren's like, bro, nature is my shit. And I was like, yes, nature is my shit too. That is the best. So we already have like more camping trips planned for the rest of the year. And we're just like, we're going to go every other weekend.
Wow, my God.
And just like camp
don't
it out.
Forget the peanut butter.
I will never forget. And Ren's favorite thing is like making lists. So we're going to make lists and put it on the side of the box. And we've already got our list of things to buy for the next trip, things we don't need, things that we pack too much of, like wine. But isn't that crazy?
I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got a little break.
So when I was, thinking about how amazing nature is and how beautiful it is and how much that was healing for my soul, I was just like, oh, okay, let me like look and see like what else is out there to talk about. Because it's like one of those, we know that nature's good.
Sure.
But I love when, like anything, there's the studies that come out that tell us just how good. Yeah. And so they're at the European Center for Environment and Human Health. There was a study that was done, a team that was led by this guy named Matthew White, and it was a study of 20,000 people, and they wanted to ask the question, like, how long does it take to get a dose of nature high enough to make people say that they feel healthy and have a strong sense of well-being? Like, how much do you need a week?
Oh, a week?
Yes.
I think it's not that much. I would say...
A week? Yes.
It's a lot?
No. I think you're good. Think like the.
I would say it's only like 10 minutes a day or something small.
A little bit more. It's 120 minutes.
Okay, that's doable.
Yes,
15 minutes a day.
Yes, they found that people who spent 2 hours a week in green spaces, so local parks or other natural environments, and I almost feel like your backyard counts.
Yeah, for sure.
I totally think it does. They were substantially more likely to report good health and psychological well-being than those who don't. And 2 hours was the hard boundary. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That it's like that there were no benefits for people who didn't meet that threshold. Mm-hmm. It was like 2 hours and above.
All
yes,
or nothing.
It's good. All or nothing. And it was so interesting to see some of these results because I feel them. But I don't, it's one of those where you don't really recognize, like, I don't know why. Like, why do I feel better in nature? And then this, like, oh, well, it's this and this and this. I try to do that even as a therapist. I try to look at, like, what are the elements? Like, when you're feeling really good, when your things are going well, what are all the elements that make that up? And how can you take those things and, like, duplicate them maybe when times aren't that great? Or what are the things about this? And so it was really interesting to read that that nature, as long as and this was a one little like asterisk. It says as long as people feel safe. So you have to be in nature and also feel safe, not be like terrified and like lost in the forest. So we all know it lowers the blood pressure, reduce nervous system arousal, but also attention deficit disorder and aggression lessen in natural environments.
Yeah. That makes
Attention
sense.
deficit disorder. And I feel that so much. And then I was thinking back to what you were saying about the phone and the fire
Yeah.
Fact. So true. I was like thinking about it. I didn't look at my phone one time because it basically turned into a camera.
Yeah, right.
That was it. And I just really, I felt that. And it was so fabulous, but also made me think about, one of the things that was so difficult was the process of actually getting us out into nature.
Yeah.
I had, oh my God, the only reason I got this reservation was because there was like some last minute cancellation that somebody had, and I was on at 2:30 in the morning on the like government parks page, and this popped up, and so I like swooped it. And before that, it's booked out like till September.
Yeah.
And you can't even get in. And then I just read that they're closing, a whole bunch of parks are closed.
Yeah.
So as much as it's so great, we have to like carve out and find time in nature around us. And so I was reading this article, the same one that was talking about, that study of nature. And this is something I never even thought of, but we talk a lot about food deserts.
Yeah.
Now there are researchers and policymakers who are talking about park deserts in urban areas.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing.
Yeah. And it's not even like people kind of associate park, or they make it synonymous with playground. But I mean,
yes,
playgrounds are one thing, but a park where there's trees and animals, wildlife, birds, all that, it's totally different. And it's healing.
So healing.
Yeah.
And there's an organization called the 10-Minute Walk campaign that's working with mayors to like make sure that people have access. Like everybody should have access to some sort of park or green space within a 10-minute walk. And that's something that growing up, I think maybe I took for granted because my house backed up to the Santa Monica Mountains and the like Malibu canyon back there, or whatever. You could pretty much like walk to the beach over them. It would take, hours, but we'd go over the mountains and it was beautiful and a whole night. And then, some parts of Orange County I lived in, I had that. And then now living in the city, like I am in the city, there's like restaurants under me kind of thing, like parking structure. I like that
that's one of the things I loved about that Compton Cowboys book was it's talking about how the use of horses, like equine therapy, and then also just being on the ranch to care for the animals is literally considered a healing process for, people that otherwise may not have access to, as you're saying, parks or just nature or animals and things like that.
Yes. It feels so... Well, I imagine, minus hating the dirt because Bo is like that, but the same way Bo gets when she's around those squirrels and she's like goes back into like it feels like you get a reset, like you connect with the thing that is what makes you human. And I feel like I listen better, I hear more, I see more. And if you can be the person who can, if you could I just feel like the thing to be able to be comfortable in that place of peace and that place of like quiet and be able to enjoy that in nature so that you can duplicate a little bit of that in your mind in the crazy world that we live in when we're not in nature is so necessary.
Yeah, and you
helps.
have to do it. You have to be consciously doing it if it's not something that's always around you. You have to seek it out.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be, the thing that this article was talking about is it doesn't have to be a lot of space. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to go to the Trail of 100 Giants or whatever. You just have to put your feet in some grass,
Yeah. Lay on the grass and look up at the clouds. That's what's fun.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. And looking up at the stars. Oh,
Well, because you did it when you were a kid, and then you stop at some point. So just do it again.
Yeah. Oh, this article also talked about forest schools, which is a new rising thing. It's something that's been going on in like Scandinavia and different places, outside of the United States. But this is like a new growing thing. And I didn't know a lot about this until I was talking to my cousin's son. I don't know if that makes him like my second cousin. I don't know how that I never know how that stuff works.
Right.
But her son goes to one of those nature schools, and he's a senior in high school now, I think. And he spends 6 months of the year out at like living off the land, and is a complete like natural survivalist, and can his role is to be the fire guy.
Wow.
And he's able to start fires like with no, like just with the when you go back and forth, and
right.
It's kind of like the deer hoof thing, that thing where you go and then you blow on it, and everybody knows what I'm talking about.
Yes.
That thing.
Is there a name for that?
Yeah, they're called. I don't remember. There's a name for like that kind of friction fire. It might be that. That sounds really good if it's not.
That's what it is now. It's a friction fire.
Yep, it's friction fire. We're going to call it that. So, yeah, I think that when time comes for me to have some babies and they're school age, I would totally send my kids to one of these forest schools.
What's the end game, though? Is it like designed to send you to forestry school or park ranger situation?
I would say maybe. I think that if anything, in my mind, what that does for kids is it connects them to maybe like, I don't know. It feels like it teaches like life skills. Like it's very like things that apply,
practical.
like very practical. That's the word that I'm looking for, and it can be like apply in many different scenarios and environments. Like if you, because really what you want to teach is like problem solving and perseverance and resilience and confidence and autonomy. And I think you can those kind of things are the skills. Like you can teach somebody information. Anything in a book you could teach somebody, but to build the skills that are required to then like put that information to use and to use it in a way that is either impactful to society or makes you successful or whatever, gives you the life that you want. That takes those other skill, that other kind of learning. And I think that's the goal that I see in those things, because I watched this, my second cousin of mine, we'll call him that. I watched him blossom as a person from being really kind of shy and he's identical twin too. And so his one of the twins is like real, like the theater major is like real chatty. And this other one is like the naturalist and now they've both developed their own skills in different different areas.
Right.
And I saw him just like the confidence. I'm like, whoa, who is this guy?
Yeah.
And it's just, I love that. And so I think we just need all of this.
I'm thinking that
return to nature.
Given the situation in the world right now, I think there will be a lot of upheaval with regard to traditional education and public schooling as more people choose to homeschool or alternative whatever. And perhaps that might be something that starts growing as a result. And I think people are kind of scared in an apocalyptic kind of way, so maybe those kinds of skills will become more sought after as well for that reason.
Yeah, when we have no more electricity, my cousin's friction fire abilities are really good at coming handy.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will be thinking that way for sure.
Yes. I can't believe that I spent this entire episode just chatting about my camping trip, but then maybe I can. I did, however, teach you that Sequoia is the only word that uses all the vowels.
Yeah, we learned a lot from that unnamed woman. We learned some things from Tina and Pickles. They've given us a real gift today.
Oh, gosh. Well, thanks for listening to me, Sue.
I hope people give us a gift and tell a friend and follow us on social and give us a 5-star review.
Yes.
And
Tell us about your favorite park that you've visited.
Yes.
And your favorite thing to do out in nature.
Or camping hacks. I love camping hack.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I love a camping hack. And you guys tell us good enough ones, and maybe I can get Susie's ass to go camping with me.
You know what? All the living have hope. Let's hope so. Let's just believe it's still possible. We'll see you next time.
Fingers crossed until next time.
Bye.